Welcome everybody to the Bhagavad Gita study series. We are studying the eighth chapter. Eighth chapter is titled Akshara Brahma Yoga. Shara means destruction. Akshara means that which cannot be destroyed. The Brahman, the consciousness that pervades the universe, can be never destroyed. So it's called Akshara Brahma Yoga. The name is a misnomer for this chapter. The reason it is named so is because Krishna's teaching starts with Akshara Brahma Paramam Svabhavotyatmam Uchyate Bhuta Bhavot Bhavakaraha, like that. So it's titled Akshara Brahma Yoga for that reason, but it should really be called Prayanakala Ishvara Smaranam, remembering God at the time of death. This eighth chapter is a little bit of an odd chapter interspersed between the seventh and the ninth. In the seventh and the ninth, Bhagavan teaches the greatest form of worship is the worship of Nirguna Ishvara. Nishkama Nirguna Ishvara Bhakti. Nishkama means without desires, for the sole sake of liberation. Nishkama, kama means desires, right? Nishkama means without desires. Nishkama, Nirguna, without attributes. Nirguna Ishvara, the Brahman, without attributes, Bhakti. That's the seventh and the ninth chapter. The eighth chapter, Bhagavan introduces this topic of Nishkama Saguna Ishvara Bhakti, still without desires, like give me wealth, give me health, all that, without desires. Saguna Ishvara Bhakti. Saguna Ishvara refers to a God with attributes like Krishna and everything. And Krishna is trying to say, look, the Saguna Ishvara Bhakti, it may look easy, but getting liberation from that path is very difficult. So that is the topic. And we would like to acknowledge Swami Paramarthananda Saraswati for the traditional rendering of Vedanta as it was done for over 1,000 years, starting with Adi Shankaracharya. So we'll say a small prayer. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Sada Shiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Salutations to the lineage starting with Lord Sadashiva, with Adi Shankaracharya in the middle, and continuing up to our immediate teacher, Swami Paramarthananda Saraswati. So with this, we will jump into where we left off. So we were studying in the, so here the Anushtup meter starts. So in the ninth shloka, Anushtup meter starts, and Bhagavan is giving the attributes of the Lord who should be remembered by the Nishkama Bhatta at the time of death. That's where Kavim Purana Manushasitaram Anoraniyam Sam Anusmaredyaha Sarpasya Dhataram Achintya Rupam Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parastat. So it gives all the attributes in the shloka. Omniscient, ancient, Kavi means one who knows everything, all that stuff. Effulgent like the sun, beyond ignorance. Tamasa Parastat. So this is also used in Purusha Suktam. Tamasa Parastat. Aditya Varnam, effulgent like the sun. All these are characteristics of Ishvara. Then this is where Bhagavan is trying to tell, remembering God at the time of death. Saguna Ishvara, attaining mukti, it's a very difficult process. So, Prayana Kale Manasa Chalena Bhaktya Yukto Yoga Balena Chaiva Bhruvor Matye Pranam Aveshya Samyak Satam Param Purusham Upaiti Divyam. Prayana Kala means, Prayana means pilgrimage or journey. At the journey means what? Journey from out of the body at the time of death. Prayana Kala Manasa Achalena Manasa, without a mind that is unmoving. Bhaktya Yukta, having with the steady devotion. Yuktaha means yog, bhaktya, with yoked devotion. Yoga balena chaiva, just with the power of yoga. Bhruvor madhye pranam avesha samyak. Bring all the prana onto the middle of the eyebrows. So he's going to say now, so this is how you leave the body. So this is discussed very much in the scriptures. So for example, in the Kathopanishad, the same thing is mentioned. How you give up the body. There are 101 nadis of the heart. Okay, Jivatma is supposed to reside in the heart, Hridayam. One of these goes to the crown of the head. When a person exits the prana through it, they attain immortality. So you can bring all the prana either to the heart, apparently, or to the bhruvo madhya, the middle of the eyebrows, and then shoot it like a rocket. So Bhagavan says, so the prana is brought into Hridayam in the Kathopanishad, whereas in the Gita he says, bring it, focus everything onto the middle of the eyebrows. And the Sushumna Nadi is the central Nadi, right? People try to bring the Kundalini up. So in the Sushumna Nadi, send the prana. And how the prana, how you send it to the top of the head. So there is this top of the head which is called Brahmarandram. It's called the fontanelle for kids. It's a soft spot. Then the brains fuse, the skull fuses there. Brahmarandram means passage to the Brahmaloka. So like a rocket, you focus everything onto the middle of the eyebrows or the heart in Kathopanishad and shoot it out. So like a rocket, forcibly and through the Brahmarandam. And apparently for great yogis, it just splits through the Brahmarandam and their Jivatma departs, the prana departs. So when it is done in this way, prana has to be released through this Brahmarandram. And from this Brahmarandra, there is a root which we'll see, which is, it's going to be called Shuklagatihi, the white path through which the Jivatma travels, and the Shuklagatihi is supposed to take the Jivatma to the Brahmaloka. So this is the idea. So this is mentioned in Kathopanishad also. What is Krishna trying to say? Why is he trying to say about all the shooting prana, all that stuff? Bhagavan is just trying to say one needs to be a great yogi with great pranayama practice to bring the prana to the middle of the eyebrows and shoot it out through the Brahmarandra. He doesn't say that part, shooting out through the Brahmarandra, but that's implied. One has to be a great yogi to be able to attain Krama Mukti. Remember, at the time of death, you have to do all that. It's a difficult thing. Corollary, opt for the path of Nirguna Ishvara Jnanam. It is much easier. Even though worship of the consciousness, God without form, that is Brahman, sounds difficult, this path of getting liberation is difficult. So Arjuna, even though it may seem to you that worship of a God with attributes like Krishna, Rama is easy, I want you to focus on the Nirguna Ishvara Jnana and the Bhakti. It is easier to get liberation that way. Okay, so we stopped at 10th shloka. Now we'll continue with the 11th. Yadaksharam veda vido vadanti vishanti yat yatayo vitaragaha yadichanto brahmacharyam charanti tatte padam sangrahena pravakshe. Yad aksharam veda vid vadanti. So Bhagavan here says, I will briefly tell you about that goal, which the knowers of Vedas, Vedavid means the knowers of Vedas, Vadanti means speak of as, talk about as Aksharam, the imperishable. So the name of the chapter is Akshara Brahma Yoga, imperishable Brahman. Vishanti yat yatayo vitaragaha. Enter. Who enters? The self-controlled ones. Yati means self-controlled. Yatayaha, the yogis, self-controlled yogis. Vitaragaha, those who are freed from cravings, they enter. And Yad ichanto, desiring which, brahmacharyam charanti. Brahmacharya, they observed uh, brahmacharya. Brahmacharya literally means sexual restrainment. I mean, that's one the common connotation, but literally it means walking in the path of the Brahman. Brahma acharyam. So the path of the Brahman, charanti means walk the path of the Brahman. And it literally means control of the senses, desiring which they observe brahmacharya, like restraining sexual impulses and things like that. And Bhagavan says, tat te, to you, padam, sangrahena pravakshya. I will tell you about that goal briefly. Sarpadvarani samyamya मनोहृदि निरुद्य च मूर्त्यात्मन प्राणम् आस्थितो योगधारणा ओमित्येकाक्षरं ब्रह्म व्याहरन् माम् अनुस्मरन् यः प्रयाति त्यजन् देहं स याति paramam gatim. 12th and 13th have to be read together. Sarva dvarani samyama. Dwara means door. All here it refers to sense organs, like passage for information to flow in, right? Sarva dvarani samyama means restrained. Having restrained all the sense organs, manaha kridi nirudhyacha, confining the mind to the heart. So our mind wants to think everywhere, right? Bring it into the heart, place it in the body. Like it's basically saying, observe your body, placing it in the heart. Murdhya dhayatmana pranam. Murdhya adhyatmana pranam. And placing one's prana at the crown of the head. Previously, from the both tips to pushing it out into the crown of the head. Astito yoga dharanam. Astita means taking to yoga dharanam, yogic concentration, full concentration. You just shoot it out from the crown of the head. And it continues into the next shloka. Omityekaksharam brahma vyaharan mam anusmaran. Om iti, and chanting eka aksharam, that is single syllable om, which is basically, which is Brahman. Om iti eka aksharam Brahma. The om is itself Brahman. Vyaharan mam anusmaran. So thinking of me, mam anusmaran. Yaprayati tyajan deham sayati paramam gatim. One, prayati tyajan deham, one who departs this body, sa yati paramam gatim, that person attains the supreme goal. Paramam gatim, the supreme goal. And chanting the single syllabled om, which itself is Brahman, and thinking of me, one who departs the body, that person attains the supreme goal. So here he's basically saying, this is one way to eventually this person will attain the supreme goal, but it's not a straightforward path. You have to do all this pranayama techniques, all this. It's a very difficult path. So Krishna is trying to dissuade Arjuna from that path, even though it's Bhagavan himself telling that. He's saying, don't worship me, but worship my higher nature. Don't worship this form, because like we saw, when the gopis, when they see Krishna, they're happy. When Krishna comes, they're happy. When Krishna goes, they cry. And how do they cry? They cry in sync, in raga. Saswaram Rudum Rajan. So they cry in Bhagavatam. It says they cry in sync, in a melodious way, apparently. We cry, it's a cacophony when we cry. Okay. Ananyacheta satatam yo mam smarati nityashaha tasyaham sulabha partha nityayuktasya yoginaha. So here nitya refers to long time instead of the usual meaning of constantly, because another word satatam is used for constantly. So let's look at the thing. Ananya cheta satatam, with the mind not thinking about anything else. Yomam smarati nityashaha, one who remembers me uh, constantly for a long time. Yomam smarati nityashaha satatam, one who remembers me constantly for a long time. Tasya aham sulabha partha, for those yogis I'm very easy to attain. What kind of yogis? Nitya yuktasya yoginaha, the ever steadfast. Yukta means yoked. So the word yoga, it all, the English word yoke comes from this yuj, yoga, all that same roots. Nitya yuktasya, ever yoked or ever steadfast. Yoginaha, for the ever steadfast yogis, I'm easy to attain by the path of Krama Mukti. This path is called Krama Mukti. Krama means a sequence. It is not Sadhyo Mukti. Remember, Sadhyo Mukti means instantaneous liberation or Jivan Mukti. This is Krama Mukti. You go to Brahmaloka and attain liberation there. So, with the mind not thinking about anything else, whoever remembers me constantly for a long time, for those ever steadfast yogis, I am easy to attain by the path of Kramamukti. This completes Krishna's answer to Arjuna's seventh question, which is Antakala Ishvara Smaranam or Pranakala Ishvara Smaranam, remembering God at the time of death, or it is Kramamukti by remembering God at the time of death. Okay, so first Arjuna asks 7 questions and Krishna answers 6 questions immediately. In 4 verses, all these are covered. Then the significance of remembering God at the time of death, we saw 5 to 14. Now, this chapter has some very weird terminologies. So, Bhagavan, it's called Shukla Gati and Krishna Gati. He's going to talk about that. But first, before that, he's going to introduce there are 2 goals for people in life: God or Brahman and liberation, and everything other than God. Worldly pursuits and divine, godly pursuits or liberation. He's going to talk about that in the next 8 shlokas. So now, if you see, you will very clearly see the difference. The change in the Prathama Shatkam, we saw it's all about Jiva. Now it's moving into Ishvara. It's all about Ishvara in this Shatkam. So shlokas 15 to 23, 22, 8 shlokas covers spiritual and material goals. Spiritual is God, it is infinite. Material goals are finite, and they only give you finite happiness. Spiritual goals or goals seeking God gives infinite happiness. So that's what Krishna is going to say. So far, are there any questions in this chapter? Anybody? Jayalakshmi ji, Ravi, Tatiana, Shubha. Do you understand the logical sequence? It is Krishna has deliberately placed it between 7th and the 9th to show that worship of the Nirguna Ishvara it's a faster way to get liberation. Though it may look like worshipping God with forms is easy, but the liberation is difficult. You have to do it pranayama acrobatics when at the time of death. Even now it's hard to do, but that's so. It's a way of, it's a poetry, right? So figuratively, he's telling that. Are there any questions from anybody? Everybody's quiet. Tatiana, any questions?
Not yet. I
Okay,
had
not
some
yet. Okay,
connection. Sorry. Mhm.
no problem. Okay, so why are the material pleasures, finite. This is a very important thing. The doshas of finite worldly pleasures. This scriptures say that dosha means defect. Ayurveda term dosha, literally vata, pitta, kapha. All these are defects, literally. That's the word. Defects are finite worldly pleasures. First defect. What's the defect? Dukkha mishritatvam. Mishra means mixed. It's mixed with dukkham, sorrow. The pleasure is mixed with sorrow. Pain of acquisition, pain of preservation, and the pain of loss. Parinama tapa samskara dukkai gunavritti virodascha dukkhameva sarpam vivekinaha. Pain of acquisition, pain of preservation, pain of loss. Then atriptikaratvam, the nature of not providing total satisfaction due to finite nature. You may get all the wealth, but then there'll be another person who's wealthier than you, so you will have jealousy. Third defect is bandhakatvam, enslavement by the finite pleasures. You are addicted, you're a slave of the pleasures. These are the defects of worldly pleasures. Continuing. Mamupetya punarjanma dukkhalayamashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmanaha samsiddhim paramam gataha. Having reached me, mam upetya. Who are these people? Mahatmanaha, the great people. Punarjanma na apnuvanti, do not take a rebirth. And what is rebirth? Rebirth is dukkhalayam and ashashvatam. Dukkha alayam, it's a place of misery. It's filled with misery. And it is ashashvatam. It is not lasting. Shashvatam means lasting. Ashashvatam means it is not lasting. Even the Buddha had a great life. He had a lot of wealth. He was not happy. Prince Siddhartha Gautama, so he was not happy. And even the pleasures are not lasting. And these people attain the highest perfection, moksha. Samsiddhim paramam gatim. Samsiddhim means total perfection. Paramam, and it's the highest state. And attain paramam gata. They go to the highest state. And they attain this state of moksha. When through worship, he's saying, yeah, the Saguna Ishvara Bhakti has a lot of benefits because eventually it will take you to moksha. It is much better than pursuing worldly desires, pursuit of God, pursuit of worldly material goals. So those are the two things. Bhagavan very clearly says, even though it looks difficult, its pursuit of God is always better than pursuit of material goals. Brahma bhuvana lokaha punaravartinorjuna mam upetya tu kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. Brahma, up to and including Brahma Loka. Brahma Bhuvanan Loka Punaravartino Arjuna. All the worlds leading up to and including Brahma Loka are subject to return. Punar Avartino Arjuna. Oh Arjuna, know that all the worlds up to and including Brahma Loka are subject to return. But upon reaching me, there is no rebirth. Even when you go to Brahma Loka and through this Krama Mukti path, you can still come back. So let me put a picture. We are in the Bhuloka, the plane of existence called Earth. Then there's number 2, number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th Loka is called Brahma Loka. And these are all Agaman Loka, lower worlds. -1, -2, all Naraka lokas. So 7 down, 7 up. Highest is Brahmaloka. But even when you go to Brahmaloka, even Brahmaji, the person sitting in Brahmaloka, that person one day has to be reborn. It is just a position. Now, I've told you the word lokaha has the same, the English word look has the same root as lokaha. Lokaha is a place where one sees. Lokayati yati iti lokaha. Uh, it means a place where one experiences everything. So lokaha is a place where one experiences. In the heavens, these are all the heavenly worlds. Experiences become more pleasurable, more finer, and then there's less sorrow. It becomes more refined, very high forms of experience. So look comes from the word lokaha, place where one experiences. So Bhagavan says all these worlds up to and including Brahmaloka are subject to return. If you reach me, there is no return. Sahasrayugaparyantam aharyat brahmano viduhu ratrim yugasahasrantam teho ratra vido janaah. Okay. Sahasra Yuga Paryantam. Paryanta means ends. Sahasra Yuga means 1,000 yugas. So we'll see all these definitions of yuga, all those things. Sahasra Yuga Paryantam. That, that which ends in 1,000 yugas. Ahar yad brahmano viduhu. Ahar means a day. So those who know that a day of Brahmaji ends in 1,000 Chatur Yugas. Yuga here refers to a Chatur Yuga. We'll come to that in just a second. Brahmano Aha means Brahmaji's day, day of Brahmaji. Those who know that it ends in 1,000 Chatur Yugas. Ratrim Yuga Sahasrantam. Ratri and the night of Brahmaji to be Sahasra means 1,000. 1,000 yugas, 1,000 Chatur yugas. They aha ratra vidojana. They are the knowers of day and night. Why is he doing all these complicated things to say something? What Bhagavan is trying to say is even Brahmaji, the creator, right? Creator is supposed to have the longest time scale because creator creates, dissolves, creates, dissolves. Brahmaji does that, creates, and then after some time it gets dissolved. Then he again creates. Brahmaji, he does it over and over again. Brahmaji's time scale is the longest, and even that, so that is what is used as the time scale. So Bhagavan is giving the example to illustrate the longest time in the universe is still finite. He's going to say that even a day of Brahmaji eventually ends. Okay, now we will look at the word yuga. So yuga, it means Chatur Yuga. So it's just, he hasn't said Chatur Yuga because of poetry. He just says yuga. Here yuga refers to Chatur Yuga. Chatur Yuga is a duration of time. It consists of Krita Yuga, that's a Sattva Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. Apparently, in Krita Yuga, people lived for a long time. Okay, Treta Yuga, their lifetimes became small. Dwapara Yuga is when Krishna lived, and when Krishna died, Kali Yuga started. That's the Yuga we live in. Their human lives are small. Our intelligence is dimmed, apparently. Um, Treta is where Rama, um, or yeah, Rama lived. Kali Yuga consists of so one calendar day of Brahmaji is 2,000 Chaturyugas. So here he says a day of Brahmaji. Okay, one day of Brahmaji consists of and the day and the night of Brahmaji consists of 1,000 and 1,000. So 2,000 Chaturyugas. 1,000 for the day, 1,000 for the night, 2,000 Chaturyugas. Understood? Now look at the numbers. Then Kali Yuga, the Yuga we live in, is 432,000 human years. That's year, same year, 2024, 25, consists of 432,000. Dwapara Yuga consists of twice that long, two times 432,000. Treta Yuga consists of three times 432,000 human years. Krita Yuga, the most pious time, thankfully, right? Kali Yuga is smaller, Krita Yuga is longer. We all have to be thankful for that. Krita Yuga consists of four times 432,000 years because humans lived four times longer apparently than. So one Chatur Yuga consists of, so if you add all this 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1, 10. 10 times 432,000, which is 4,320,000 human years. One Chatur Yuga is this long. And 2,000 of these Chatur Yugas consists of one calendar day of Brahmaji. So this is day of Brahmaji. Brahmaji, the creator, he creates, and at the end it dissolves. So daytime is when the sun rises, it symbolizes creation, and when the sun sets, it's dissolution. Then it remains dark. Everything is unmanifest. We're going to come to that very soon. 1,000 Chaturyugas, 4.32 billion human years, one day of Brahmaji. 4.32 billion human years, a night of Brahmaji. Okay. Any questions so far? This is all poetic way of telling about his saying, though even those long time scale, the longest time scale is still finite. So, like this life of Brahmaji is Brahma day 1, Brahma day 2, like this 36,000 days. 36,000 Brahma calendar days is life of Brahmaji. Even Brahma then has to come back. It's just a position. Brahma, after all his merits have exhausted, even Brahma comes to Bhuloka. If Brahma doesn't attain liberation, Brahma also has to come to Bhuloka. Brahmaji is also destroyed after 36,000 Brahma days. Okay? Only one thing survives, the consciousness. If you reach consciousness, you escape this cycle. That is why it is said, Brahman Satya Jagat Mithya. Jagat, the world is seemingly real, but it's not constant. It'll dissolve one day. Whereas consciousness is Satyam, which means it is ever there. Jagat is Mithya. It's very mythical. It's seemingly real, but it's not real because it changes. If something is real, it'll be just like that without change. Understood? Why is Krishna talking about Brahmaji's long life? As I said, Krishna says, Brahmaji's life is very long, but even that is finite. If you aspire to go to Brahmaloka and become Brahma, even that is a finite goal. But coming to me, you will never be reborn. So that is the infinite goal. Okay. Now he is going to talk about creation, how things are created, how things are dissolved. Creation, I'm not saying destruction, I'm saying dissolution. Vyaktam, manifestation, avyaktam, unmanifestation. We saw that, right? In the beginning, there was only consciousness and Maya. Maya, you can say something like energy, and from this energy comes Maya, comes material universe. It's strictly not energy because matter and energy are interconvertible. From Maya comes both matter and energy. The material universe comes, and at dissolution, they all become Maya. Maya and Brahman are the only two things. Maya has no dependent existence. It depends on Brahman for the creation. Okay. Avyaktavyaktayak sarvaha prabhavantyah ragame. Ratyagame praliyante tatraipavyakta sanyake. At the coming of a day, ahar agame. Ahar is day. Agame means coming. At the coming of a day, what day? Day of Brahmaji. We saw that, right? Day of Brahmaji. This is creation starts at the day of Brahmaji for 1,000 Chaturyugas, different yugas, and then it dissolves. Then it remains in the night as Maya. So Bhagavan says, at the coming of a day of Brahmaji, avyaktad, from unmanifested, vyaktaha, sarvaha, all manifest beings proceed from the unmanifested. Okay, sarvaha means all beings. Ratri agame praliyante, and when the night comes, they dissolve. Tatra eva vyakta sanyake, dissolve into um, avyaktam, so into the unmanifested. Tatra eva avyakta sanyake. So sanyake means that which is known as. So they verily dissolve into what is known as unmanifested. So at the coming of a day of Brahmaji, all manifest beings proceed from unmanifested, which is Maya. At the coming of the night of Brahmaji, they verily dissolve into what is called the unmanifested or Maya. Okay. The word pralayam, praliyante means dissolve, same root as pralayam. When we sleep, laya, it's sleep. So when we sleep, it is called layaha. When Brahmaji sleeps, it is called pralayaha. It's great sleep. So when we sleep, time and space are resolved for us, but not for those who are awake. So when Brahmaji sleeps, it is resolved for everyone. There's no concept of time and space. Is that understood? Any questions here? Same idea of manifestation is in chapter 2. Avyaktaadhini bhutani vyaktamadhyani bharata avyaktanidhanan eva tatra ka paridevana. Beings are unmanifested in the beginning, they are manifest in the middle, and become unmanifest again in the end. At death. What is there to grieve over this? Okay, that's Bhagavan says in the second chapter. So you see, second chapter is a condensation of the entire Bhagavad Gita. This entire thing is explained in these verses 15 through 22. Okay, so that's why the second chapter is like a introduction of the Bhagavad Gita. So in Vedanta, we don't talk about creation and destruction. It is manifestation and unmanifestation. This Vedanta gives this example of a dream. Dream world is manifest when we are awake. Dream world is unmanifest when we are awake. It gets manifested when we are in REM sleep, right? Where is the dream stored when it is unmanifested? It's stored in our samskaras or latent impressions in our body. It's not just in the brain. Body holds a lot of memories. You'll be surprised. It's not like a RAM or hard drive sitting on the head. The body stores a lot of memories. So it is manifestation and unmanifestation. During dream world, the dream world is unmanifested when we are awake. It gets manifested when we are in REM sleep. It's not deep sleep, sushupti, that is deep sleep. This is REM sleep, where we dream. And it's stored in samskaras. Okay. Important corollary is nothing gets created, it's just recycled. Beings and things only become manifest and unmanifest. According to Vedanta, matter was never created, It is only manifested and unmanifested. Replace created with manifested. Conservation of matter and energy. Unmanifest matter is like energy, Maya. What causes manifestation and unmanifestation? It is time. So I've told this many times before. There are these atheists who heavily criticize religion. Why they do that is because of religion, certain policies are implemented. For example, abortion, things like that. Because certain religions don't want abortion and things like that, gay marriage. So it creates a lot of difficulty for people. So these atheists, they trash religion, say it's all bogus, hocus pocus, so that it's for them it's a kind of social freedom and justice. But even those people and also the scientists, they seem to love Vedanta because of the logic it has. And there are no rigid beliefs, there are no thou shalts. It is just the Sanatana Dharma, the nature of the eternal Dharma. So time and matter are inseparable. Manifestation and unmanifestation, it's only time that separates. Clear? भूतग्रामस्य एवायं भूत्वा भूत्वा प्रलीयते रात्र्यागमे वशपात प्रभवत्यः रागमे. So Bhagavan says, Bhutagrama sa eva ayam. All these, the same multitude of beings, these are the same, indeed the same multitude of beings, which having emerged again and again, dissolve at the coming of the night of Brahmaji. And then Avasha Partha, he uses the word Avasha, they are helplessly, they are thrust forth, they come forth during the day of Brahma. Look at the beautiful words that are. Let's look a little bit into this. Bhuta Gramaha, the multitude. Gramam means it's a multitude. Bhuta Grama means a multitude of beings. Sa eva I am. So indeed, indeed the multitude of this I am means this, indeed this same multitude of beings, or the same multitude of beings, Bhutva Bhutva, emerged again and again, praliyate. They emerge again and again, and then they dissolve. When do they dissolve? Praliyate ratriagame, dissolve at the coming of the night. And what happens then? Avasha Partha, oh Partha, helplessly they have to come forth during, whether they want it or not, they have to helplessly come forth during the daytime. We've seen that in the three bodies: Stula Shariram, Sukshma Shariram, Karana Shariram. Stula Shariram, physical body, has meaning only during this lifetime. The Sukshma Shariram lives. It lives until Pralayam, and or unless you get liberated before. And then where is it transferred? In Pralayam, it's transferred into the Karana Sharira. It is the causal body. It stays there. So everything is stored. It's not like it's lost. Information is stored. Karma is never lost. It's stored there. And then the jivas come. No new jivas are created. It's just recycling. But if you may ask the question, what if all these jivas get liberated? Then there'll be less and less jivas. No, because infinity minus infinite minus finite is still infinite. What happens to all the jivas at Pralayam? Dissolution at the start of Brahmaji's night. Shankaracharya clarifies, karma of the jivas do not get annulled at Pralayam. If so, we have to just patiently wait until Pralayam. During the start of the next Brahma day, Bhagavan will not create new jivas. If so, which will take a mosquito body and which a human body? This question will come, right? So people will ask, so then Bhagavan, so there are all these jivas, He throws one jiva into a mosquito body, he throws another jiva into a human body randomly. No. In other religions, there are a lot of things which are random. Here, there is nothing random. Everything happens according to karma. So, in the causal body, the karma is stored, and then based on that, you either take a mosquito body or a human body at the start of the new creation. Very important point. We've seen this Karana Shariram. So, if possible, go over this video. It's there in my website, our three bodies, or the slide deck. So, the Karana Shariram is the causal body. It's stored as a root. Even at the time of pralayam, it is um, it is stored in the form of the causal body. The karma is stored. Any questions so far?
So Ganesh, like this consciousness, right? I think you touched upon previously. Does it dissolve during pralaya, or it
No,
always?
consciousness is always there. It is
Uh,
one thing which it is permanent. The only thing that exists all the time is consciousness. That never dissolves. That is Brahman. That is you.
mhm.
You, the consciousness, never dissolve. You are supreme. Your body, your mind, everything will dissolve. At the end of pralayam, sukshma sharim, your mind goes from one body to another. It may go to a deva body, it may come to a human body, animal body, but it will dissolve at pralayam. Sukshma shariram is the mind. It comes to and prana and other things, the karma indriya, jnana indriya, but it dissolves. Consciousness is always there. Very, very, very important point. You, therefore, are eternal. You don't have age. Understood?
So Ganesh, I think I read it somewhere. Like this. We tell it like 84 lakh lifetimes we get, right? Within that 84 lakhs lifetime, there is a point, right? We always clear out all the karmas and reach that state, right? Isn't it? Or it never?
No, so these are all some other beliefs may have these kind of symbolic things, but Vedanta has nothing like.
Okay.
So it's not like your 84,000. It's just a symbolic way, perhaps, um, but Vedanta has nothing like that.
Mhm.
You don't automatically acquire liberation. That you just have to patiently wait. Just do all the atrocities you want to, and just patiently wait. One day you'll get liberated. Why should you put an effort? Why should you do anything, right? Okay, so Bhagavan does not create new jivas. Bhagavan does not randomly allocate bodies to jivas. Very, very important point. So we've seen that before. Um, Uttanka asked Krishna, right? Why did you create you caused the Mahabharata war? I'm going to curse you. Because of you, the karma started. The bad karma of the Pandavas, because you, when the creation started, you gave them this bad karma. You caused her. No. The same jivas come back to fulfill their karma. The jivas that are liberated escape the cycles. Jivas are infinite in number. Infinite minus finite, those which get liberated, still infinite. Vedanta has no such thing as automatic liberation. You have to work for it. Parastasmatu bhavonyah vyakto vyakta sanatanaha yaksa sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsu na vinashyati. Parastasmatu bhavaha anyaha, but higher than this avyakta, the unmanifested, there is another eternal unmanifest existence which does not perish even when all beings perish. That is the consciousness, what Chuba was asking. Unmanifest, this Maya, When everything is in the night, it's all stored as Maya. But higher than this Maya, parastasmat bhavo anyaha, another, there's anyaha avyaktaha, there's another unmanifested parastasmat, it is higher than this local unmanifest, the Maya that we are talking about. And yes, sarva bhuteshu nashyastu na vinashyati. Even when all beings perish, this does not perish. This is the consciousness. So the way, so okay, so this point, is it understood? So definition of terms: manifest matter is called karya prapancha because it is karyam. It is the result of something. Karyam. It is a result of something. It is manifested matter. Prapancha. Prapancha is the creation. Unmanifested matter is called karana prapancha, which is called causal, which is why it's called karana shariraha. Prapancha includes everything, not just one jiva, all the jivas and everything. This is Maya. Higher unmanifest existence, that is the Brahman, the consciousness principle. Brahman is beyond space and time, therefore it cannot be comprehended. Because human minds can only comprehend things in space and time. Krishna does not discuss the idea of unmanifest and manifest anymore. To know more, one has to study the Upanishads. Okay? So we shall stop the recording here and do the chanting.